Hello everyone. I've got a requested tier list today, but it's also a bit different. You can see the request here from Pablo Hernandez asking can I rate football teams in my area. I was like, yeah, I can do, but I have to decide what I want to rank them by. So, Pablo Hernandez, Leeds player. I hardly doubt it's him. I don't play for Leeds anymore, but did play for Leeds. But I thought, you know what? I rank all the English teams by if I just like them or not. Um, there's an awful lot of them, so a lot of them I'll leave down here, which means I have no real opinion on them. But then I have sort of the love tier, the like tier, dislike, and a hate tier. So yeah, I'm not ranking them by how good they are or how big they are, how successful and anything. It's just do I personally like them or not. And I'm not sure. It's a lot of English teams. It's probably even down to like the National League, even some teams. So we'll get started. Um, yeah, Accrington Stanley. I think I like it. I like Accrington Stanley. They're like a small team. Um, known as like an underdog team. They're like there's that famous advert where it's like Accrington Stanley, you were there. They're like they were found a member of the league as well. They've been out of business and come back. So yeah, I think there's reason to like Accrington Stanley, and they're fairly near where I'm from. Then we have Wimbledon. I like Wimbledon as well because they're like a fan-owned team. Their team got taken off them and moved to like a different city. Then they had to start again in like the lower leagues as a fan-owned team, and they've worked their way up well. And yeah, they're doing well. Bournemouth, I have no opinion. Yeah, so if I have no opinion in you, I'm just gonna not really say much about you to be honest. I'm only going to give reasons if I'm actually putting you on the list, I guess. So Bournemouth, no opinion. Aldershot, no opinion. I think that's Altrincham, but I could be wrong. But I certainly have no opinion on them. Arsenal, I must say I do dislike Arsenal a bit. Mainly more from back in the day. I feel like Arsenal were sort of the first team that really started like getting rid of all the English players in the team, which obviously because I want England to do well, I'd rather the good teams be playing more English people. But I remember like back in the day, Arsenal were like bringing in all these really good foreign players, and like English people weren't playing anymore. And Wenger was always a bit annoying, weren't he? Like always going with like claiming he hadn't seen all the incidents where Arsenal got advantage and stuff like that. So yeah, I do have a bit of a dislike for Arsenal, but it was mainly from further ago when they were winning stuff and having like you know not playing English players. I think they were one of the big reasons for that starting. I mean, it's not only their fault, but yeah. Okay, Aston Villa, no opinion. Barnet, no opinion. Barnsley, no opinion. Birmingham, no opinion. Blackburn, hate them. You'll probably see why I hate Blackburn later. Blackpool, I quite like Blackpool. Northern team, a good away day because you can go to Blackpool. It's kind of like a holiday destination. So once you go away, it's like a good night out after or whatever. Stuff to do. Got a train station in Blackpool, so it's quite easy to get there as well. Yeah, quite like Blackpool. No opinion on Birmingham. No opinion on Bolton really. Bournemouth, no opinion. Bradford, not bothered. Brentford, not bothered. Brighton, not bothered. Bristol City, not bothered. Bristol Rovers, not bothered. Bromley, not bothered. Burnley, that's who I support. That's why I hate Blackburn really, they're our rivals. Burnley, that's who I support, so they're obviously going in the love tier. Burton, not bothered. Cambridge, not bothered. Cardiff, not bothered. Carlisle, not bothered. Charlton, not bothered. Chelsea, I do love. I don't say I love Chelsea, but I certainly more than like them. Chelsea were like my Premier League team of choice when I was younger, and Burnley were in like League Two. And it were okay to have a Premier League team when we were worse, but like back in the day when they had Zola, they had like young John Terry, stuff like that. They just bought Lampard. This was before they were sort of really good, but they were still like a good team. They were like a fifth place teamish, it's like that. Maybe could win a cup, but Zola was really interesting. I know I said Arsenal were the foreign players, but Zola was a foreign player, but he was also like very interesting. Like you didn't get much like that. Seemed really just interesting to me, very different. And yeah, I liked Chelsea back in the day. Cudicini, I liked him as well. Yeah, I think they were just my like good team I supported when Burnley were in like the lower leagues. So Chesterfield, not bothered. Colchester, not bothered. Right, I'm going to stop saying not bothered, actually. This is just dragging on. I'm going to go through and find teams I actually have an opinion about. Let's see. Fleetwood, I like Fleetwood. Again, another sort of northwest team. Used to go to Fleetwood fairly often, just for like a day out or something. Yeah, I do like Fleetwood. Forest Green. I have a dislike for Forest Green. Mainly because they're kind of like a cool team to support, which I know sounds stupid for a reason to dislike someone, but they like have this like whole like vegan thing, which I mean it's fine being a vegan, but like forcing all your employees to be a vegan, I think they do that. It's a bit weird, but yeah, I just have a mild dislike for them. Fulham, I dislike Fulham as well, slightly. They spend an awful lot of money and still have been bad up until this year, where they're doing well actually. Like the old owners were a bit weird as well, where they had that like Michael Jackson statue, which were a bit funny, but you know it weren't exactly very likable, were it? The new owners as well are like fairly annoying, I think. But yeah, not the biggest fan of Fulham. Let's have a look. Who else do we have an opinion on? Leeds. This is a controversial one, but I actually like Leeds a bit. I think it's because it's the typical we all hate Leeds scum, but I think that makes me like it because you're meant to hate them. I think they're a bit likeable. They're not a bad. They were a big team back in the day. Recently, they've not had the same success. They've been back in top league. Under Bielsa, they played some like nice football, which were interesting to watch. Struggling again this season, but I kind of like the teams that you're not meant to like, really. So yeah, Leeds. I like Leeds a bit. So look who else. Leicester. I quite like Leicester. I'd like the underdog Premier League win, which were extremely unexpected. It was like 2,000 to 1 at the start of the season odds. The chairman died unfortunately, but he seemed like a beloved person. All the Leicester fans seem to be really big fans of him. And just like the underdog story were a bit likeable. I think, I like to see him do well. And they were just like mixing it up with some of the bigger clubs, like getting the disrupting the big six a bit for a while. So who else was there? Liverpool. Yeah, I hate Liverpool. Mainly more for back in the day, but like when they finished second in the league, I think when they had like Suarez and Gerrard and Sturridge, like Suarez was just so detestable, racism, biting people, stuff like that. Gerrard is very not likable person for me as well. Like Sturridge wasn't likable. Even nowadays, I don't like Klopp, but I like the players more now, but I really don't like Klopp. They're also very successful as well, which doesn't help. They've won a lot of stuff, so watching teams win sort of makes you not like them as much. Yeah. So yeah, mainly more back in there. I dislike Liverpool, but I still don't like them now. So we go in the hate tier. Man City, they're also a dislike. Questionable owners, sort of buying the success. Guardiola's always moaning about, there's too many games, whatever, stuff like that. Yeah, I don't think they're very likeable. Another one that they're winning all the time. Yeah, just not really for me. Oh, sorry, I missed out Hull. I dislike Hull as well, mainly because the owners. I'm not sure if they still have the same owner, but I remember the owner wanted to turn them into Hull Tigers and stuff like that, and weird stuff. I remember all that coming up, and yeah. Also, I had an awful away day there. I just remember going. I got absolutely soaked walking to the ground from somewhere, and I've just had a bad memory ever since of that Hull, I think. Yeah, so not my favourite. Let's have a look who else do we have an opinion on. Man United is another dislike for me. Again, this is more when I was younger. Like, they were just winning the Premier League all the time. In like the 90s and early 2000s. Like, they won so many Premier Leagues. They were just the best team for like the first 20 years of my life, basically. I mean, Arsenal won a couple and like Blackburn won one, but it was mainly just United winning Premier League every year until Chelsea sort of came along and won a couple in a row. That's another reason why I like Chelsea as well. I liked them when they were bad, but when they got good, they were sort of the first team that were like, wow, these are the best team in England now, that weren't United. Middlesbrough, another one I dislike. Me and a Burnley fan, we kind of had a bit of a rivalry with them a few seasons ago when we were both getting promoted from Championship. Like Dash and Karanka were both like going backwards and forwards, being saying things about each other. We were both sort of trying to claim the other one had bought the title and whatever. And yeah, it was just a sort of a competitive derby, like a title race thing. And thankfully, we got the title in the end. Yeah, so just a bit of a rivalry we had brewing there. So I just remember a bit of dislike from that. Luton, I like Luton as well. Mainly because the ground's really interesting. I've only been there once. It was actually quite recently, but the ground is like right in the middle of like some houses. Like it's like you're in just someone's backyard. Is like where the fans stand almost. Like when you're walking on the concourse and stuff, you can literally just see into people's back gardens. Yeah, it's like a really unique, weird ground. So yeah, I think I'll just like them because of that. The ground's interesting. And we haven't played them much, so I don't have any reason to dislike them in terms of playing, really. MK Dons, that's a hate. When I was saying Wimbledon, this is the team that the people bought them and moved them to Milton Keynes and just became a new team. Like, imagine if that happened to Burnley, like just somebody in, I don't know, someone were like, yeah, I want a team in Lancaster or something, and just move Burnley to Lancaster and change their name. Like, that'd be insane. So, and that's what MK Dons did. So, yeah, got a dislike to them because of that. So, yeah, not a fan. Newcastle. See, Newcastle's a tricky one. I did used to quite like Newcastle, but they've had sort of really dislikable owners. Like Mark Ashley owned them for ages, which were dislikable, and now they're owned by like the Saudis. So yeah, I'm gonna leave them for now, just because like I used to like them when I was younger, but yeah, not over the recent years. Oldham, I like Oldham. I'm not really sure why I like Oldham, but I definitely have just some weird affinity for Oldham. Couldn't really tell you why, but I like them. I'll check the results, see how they're doing. Yeah, I just quite like Oldham a bit. Well, let's see what else have I missed out. Oh, Derby, I quite like Derby. I mainly like Derby because I played as him on Football Manager. I had a really good save with him years ago when they had like Will Hughes as a youngster, and I started with him like the Championship and took him to be like one of the best teams going. So that's one of the reasons why I have a positive affinity for Derby, is through a game. But I think that's a valid reason to like a team, if anything. So yeah, I like Derby as well. Brentford's another sort of dislike. They're kind of like another team that's like popular to support. They're like kind of like an up and coming team. I think Ivan Toney's like kind of done a lot of unlikable things and all this betting stuff. I don't know if he's still not banned, but it seems like he's going to get banned at some point. But he's been playing the whole season and scoring against everyone when he could have been banned. Like, other people seem to have been punished a lot quicker than he has for some reason. Portsmouth, that's a team I like. I like it. They were kind of good under like Harry Redknapp, like 15 years ago now, maybe. But then they sort of, unfortunately, like spent too much money had to start again in like League Two, and yeah, they haven't really worked their way back up, but they're kind of like a bit of a big team that are stuck in a lower league, and yeah, I just have kind of a bit of affinity for them. Crawley, another one I like. I remember they had like a really good FA Cup run when they were a non-league team, maybe 10 years ago or so. They had like I think he was called Sergio Torres on the wing, who had like an afro and stuff, and yeah, it was just sort of a bit interesting. I like a non-league sort of cup run thing. Preston are a hate, mainly because I'm a Burnley fan again. They're sort of like our secondary rivals. I definitely don't hate them as much as Blackburn. They're not our main rivals, but yeah, Preston. I kind of have to hate them because I'm a Burnley fan. But personally, I don't have that much against them, to be honest. But they're still going in the hate tier. Who else have we got? Salford. That's another dislike. Maybe even a hate. You know what? I'll put them in hate. They're owned by like they're like a non-league team, or they were. I'm not. They could be even be in the league nowadays. But they're like spending loads of money. Like all the United players from like the class of '92 all own bits of it, and like Gary Neville's moaning about buying the league and stuff like that, paying stupid money. But that's what he's been doing just in non-league with Salford and stuff. Yeah, I don't like it gives off a bad vibe from what I think. But they're allowed to do it as well. Let's say a lot of the like lower league teams, like I have no opinion of at all really. Who else is there here? Sunderland, I like Sunderland. Put them in the like tier. Sunderland, another team that were a lot better, like 15 years ago or something. They used to, be in the Premiership all the time. And recently they've been in like League One. They're back in Championship now, doing all that, but sort of a bigger team, doing poorly. Of recent. I kind of like northern teams better as well. Being from the north of England, I tend to like northern teams a bit better. And I used to like Sunderland and Newcastle both, which were a bit counterintuitive. But yeah, I do like Sunderland. Anyone else? Let's have a look. Gonna have a scroll down there, sorry. West Ham, I quite like West Ham. Mainly because of Payet. I thought Dimitri Payet were just like, I know they didn't have him for long, and for like a season and a half, I thought it was just like insanely fun to watch. He was like really good. He was like a really good player playing for like a mid-table team-ish. Not mid-table, but like I guess they probably were a mid-table team. But Payet made them like do really well. He was just insanely good. Playing Claret and Blue as well, which is. I think the new stadium is bad though, I must say, for watching. Definitely don't like the new stadium much. But yeah, I do have a positive West Ham opinion. Scroll out a bit so we can see a bit more. There we go, let's have a look. Anybody else have an opinion on down here? Stoke I quite like. Mainly from back in the day when they were in Premier League. Everyone used to hate them for like playing hoofball, doing long throws, being sort of dirty team. Which, that's kind of what we did when we were in Premier League, where we were sort of the hoofball team, have no possession, but just grind it out with what you've got, get results. All other teams hate you. Like the big team fans are always mourning like, oh god, I hate playing Stoke, I hate playing Burnley, whatever. But for me, they're the sort of teams I like, kind of like the underdogs-ish. Wigan, I quite like Wigan. Got that FA Cup win a few years ago, beating City in the final. That was surprising. When they were in the Prem, they had like interesting players like Victor Moses, Valencia, stuff like that. Yeah, they were interesting. They always used to like escape from relegation. They were always in relegation zone with like 5 games to go, and then they do like a big escape thing. It used to be like a yearly thing. So yeah, I have some positive opinions on Wigan. Anyone else? Tottenham, I quite like Tottenham. Mainly because they never win anything, I guess is a bit of a weird way to put it. But they're like sort of the whipping boy of the big six as such, like, you know, the big 6 teams. They're like the other one that never win anything. So, you know, it kind of makes me want them to win something. Like, I think they've won 1 League Cup maybe in my lifetime. And like when they were finishing 2nd and 3rd and stuff under Pochettino, they had like an interesting team. Like Harry Kane up front, English, likeable. Like Son's really likeable. Ericsson were likeable when they had him. Stuff like that. Yeah, they were just interesting as well. It was like someone different challenging for the title. Even when they had Harry Redknapp and like Bale and stuff, that were interesting as well. Luka Modric, Crouch, Keane, stuff like that. Just had, you know, quite a lot of players over there. There's always been pretty good, but never really won anything in my lifetime. Much. So yeah, I kind of like Tottenham. I want them to win something eventually, you know. Be nice for them. Let's have a look. Who else? Wolves, I kind of have a dislike for. They're really like linked to Mendes, and like they managed to get like insanely good players to come to Championship, and it was ridiculous. They like got Ruben Neves, like who were captain of Porto, to join the Championship, like Wolves in the Championship, which was just like insane. Like that they could do stuff like that. They got like Jota in the Championship, I think, stuff like that. Like they signed so many Portuguese players, stuff like that. Like all the Mendes links. I just, yeah, it's a bit weird, like being linked to an agent so heavily, kind of, you know, dictating your club. It's, you know, it's not for me really. Who else? Let's have a look. Anyone I've missed out? Is anyone down there? That's all of them. Oh, Wrexham is another dislike. That's mainly because of recently, like they've been bought by Ryan Reynolds, is it, and some other Hollywood actor. Kind of like another like non-league team sort of buying the success. Like they had that big documentary about them and stuff, and like a non-league team, and they're getting loads of money, insane attendances and stuff for like the league they're in. It just, you know, doesn't sit right with me, you know, particularly. Just like teams in non-league having so much money and funding and exposure and stuff. Anyone else? Yeah, I quite like Everton as well, you know. Kind of similar to Tottenham. They're like a, you know, meant to be a bit of a bigger team, maybe like the biggest outside of the top 6, but like they've been awful for like, well, not awful, kind of, yeah, pretty awful for like 10 years now or something. Maybe not 10, but like they've nearly got relegated the last few years. Like underperforming. They've been trying to move to a new stadium for ages. Eventually get it doing. They couldn't even go down this year. They've got Dash as a manager as well now. You know, being a Burnley manager for a long time, that kind of makes me want Dash to do well as well. Got a lot of our ex-players. Yeah, I quite like Everton a bit. Yeah, I think that's it, to be honest. So a quick scan through again. Yeah, I don't think I particularly have any opinion on any of these. No, right. So, that was sort of my opinions on English football teams, I guess. Whether I just like them or not. I'm not trying to say they're good, I'm not trying to say they're bad. It's just, do I personally, you know, want them to succeed or not. I know this was a sort of a different style of video, you know, where I weren't sort of tiering everything. I didn't have tiers as such. I kind of had like 4 of them. So maybe let me know what you thought about this kind of style of video. If it's something you want to see more of, maybe, because, you know, there's so many of these to rank. I couldn't really do them all, so I thought I'd try something a bit different. Yeah, so let me know what you think about that. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have any requests you want to see, feel free to put them in the comments. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and goodbye.